Movers and Shakers, and facilitated by Diamonds, JP Kapoor, right? And JP and Ritu Kapoor, I have so much respect for them. In fact, we used to be living in Chicago, and JP, you were in Chicago, and some great memories from back then. So JP is going to facilitate the Movers and Shakers panel, and we have some heavy hitters, people that have massive success, right? Get ready to listen and learn fast, because there's a bunch of people coming at you super fast. Okay, with that, over to Diamonds, JP Kapoor. You need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that you guys have brought in so much of energy and so much of excitement that I'm glad that you're not on the moon. Otherwise, you would call me Chandrasekhar, Anyways, the jokes apart, guys, I'm super honored and privileged to be in this very, very special panel. Truly, these participants are movers and shakers. They have a humongous organization globally, and you're going to hear from the best. So please help me welcome Mason and Ali, Joy and Vandana, Satish and Sushma, Eddie and Cassie Kutnik, and Mitesh and Sonali. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this incredible SOAR 24 special panel. How does it feel, guys? How are you guys doing?
Fired up. We're pumped.
We're ready.
Great. I've been checking with the people who are attending this. There are quite a few new partners who are attending. And I know they've heard your names and they've heard your voices, but maybe for the first time they're seeing you. So for the benefit of new partners, can you please go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Definitely. We're Mason and Ali Eddy. I was launched into this business community when I was 19 years old, almost 12 years ago. And I was studying psychology at the time, moved into corporate human resources for my career. And it was 3 years ago that I was able to leave my corporate career and be full-time in the business, and now home with our 1-year-old son.
And I had a background in athletics, played soccer through college, and got a degree in supply chain and worked in that for some time, transitioned over to project management. And this is the first year of our journey where we're fully living off of our business income. And so we're really pumped and excited to completely leave corporate America and become full-time parents and part-time entrepreneurs.
So, hi everybody, we are Joy and Vandana. I'm Vandana, and I have a background in business administration. Left corporate several years back, 15 plus years back, and definitely love to stay home, raise my kids, and full time into the business.
Hi folks, my name is Joy Medirata, and the background I'm an industrial engineer. But like many people, I kind of transitioned into information technology because I saw that had some better goals potentially. But eventually, over the years, I worked with some very strong Fortune 100 companies. I've always enjoyed what I did. But somewhere or the other, in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted that level of security for my entire family. But most importantly, I wanted to have control of time and money. And that is one of the reasons why we transitioned into looking at this business venture, this mentorship program. And today we can say very confidently that this actually is nailing our future forever in the positive direction. So we are very excited about that. But I can tell you this for sure, that whether you're in information technology or whether you're in some other field, doesn't matter what field you're in. What matters is do you really have a big dream? And that's what we had. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's only right that we go after our amazing upline emeralds, founders emeralds, joined by that. We are Mitesh and Sonali Chudasama out of Atlanta, Georgia, sponsored by Hitesh and Pyle. And I had a background in real estate.
No brainer.
Yeah, just like my brother. And went to Georgia State University, got a degree in business management. And full-time in business. We're both full-time now.
Yes, I am Sonali, and I used to be in software sales, used to work for a really large software company, and I've been free for the last 3 years, and I retired at the age of 28. So, yes.
Awesome.
Guys, we're Cassie and Eddie Kutnik out of Chicago, Illinois. Similar to Mason and Ali, we gained access to this community when we were 20
20-year-old college students. So we built this business single, engaged, married, without kids, with kids. We now have 3 kids under 3. So in the next exciting chapter, and I was able to walk away from my career as a pediatric optometrist about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Guys, I run a drive clinic at a hospital in the south side of Chicago. I can tell you that I really value my career. I'm very proud of it. I might even say some days I love it, but I never fooled myself that this job was going to create the lifestyle that I want long term. And that's why I pursued this community. And we are so grateful for the choice that we have today. We've got a 2-year-old little girl, and then we have 2-month-old twin girls. And so we got a lot going on in our house, and we are super grateful for the choices that we have today.
Good afternoon, all. We are Satish and Sushma Reddy. And Sushma, I have multiple degrees in science, nursing, and medicine. And sometimes my husband jokes that you have so many degrees, what to do with it. But anyway, I'm passionate about what I've chosen in my life. I used to own my hospital in India before moving to New Zealand and Australia, specializing in critical care. I do work even in the US now, but that is my choice.
Hi guys, my name is Satish Reddy. My background got several degrees in engineering. Many years ago, I was working in the automotive industry in Detroit when I was introduced to this program. And I was a single guy at that time, built the business, reached a level where when I was 29 years old, I was able to walk away from a job thanks to building this business asset. Goofed off for many years, then NASA came calling and wanted my help in fixing the space shuttle program. So joined them as a project manager heading the space shuttle return flight. And today work as a chief engineer for one of the largest mission groups at NASA's Johnson Space Center with thousands of engineers in the group. But this is a tremendous adventure that we have. In fact, I met Sushma through the business. She was my customer. I helped her lose about, how many pounds in weight?
45.
45 pounds in weight. So she was very teachable, so I just decided to grab.
Man, people say that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to build this business because people think launching a partner is going to Mars, but we actually have a rocket scientist on this panel. So welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm sure it's not been an easy journey. Managing your careers and of course being an entrepreneur. And obviously, you must have at some point realized whatever you prioritize, whatever you focus on, grows. So my first question is for Mason and Ali. How have you managed your priorities for your business growth? So if you can just give us some insights that can benefit the listeners.
Yeah, we forgot to mention we're sponsored and mentored by Eddie and Cassie Kutnick here on this call. So we're so blessed to be part of their organization. Massive growth happening within that organization right now. Here's a couple thoughts that we have and things that we've just thought about over the years. We believe that distractions are symptoms of lacking clear decision-making and vision in your life. We believe that if you're distracted, you just lack a bit of a vision of where you want to go. And what I think we were afraid of in seasons early on is going all in. Is this like, we're going to go all in on this? Because I'll be honest, we thought we had a lot of options. And I think that's a massive distraction, is that we think we have options. But I'll tell you this, options are actually the opposite of freedom. If in a marriage, if it's like, oh, this is optional, maybe this will work, we lose our freedom because we're distracted. But if we know we don't have any options, it creates freedom in our life because we can go all in. And here's what happens. This is from the book, The Alchemist. He says that when we go all in on anything in our life, mentally, emotionally, the universe corresponds in helping us achieve it. And I'll tell you right now, if you go on a 90-day run, if you get yourself committed, you go all in, magic will happen. JP talks about it all the time. Leave room for the miracles in your life in this business. And we've seen that happen. And we go all in on a lot of things in our life. I want to be clear. We're all in on our marriage. We're all in on our faith journey. We're all in on our health. We're also all in on this business, and because it's the impact that we get to make in our lives.
I think outside of freedom, it also has just created peace for us, right? When we have an alignment of what our values are, we've identified those together, and then we look at our calendar, we look at our bank account, and that tells you where your values lie. So if you're like trying to figure that out, if you want a gut check, take a look at what the last 90 days of your calendars look like, the last 90 days of your spending. And it'll be reflective. And if you're unhappy by that, or if it puts a pit in your stomach, like have a serious conversation with yourself or your significant other or your upline on what you need to change. And we've just realized an all-in mentality creates security for your organization. So proud of a couple on our team, Abby and Alex, who have a team of 10 at their house today watching this phenomenal event. They are all in. And so we feel secure as their upline, knowing that they are growing an organization that's going to be stable and solid because they're committed. So go ahead.
And we have a little wondering at home. Some of you will resonate with this. If your kids watch you be all in on your marriage, embrace each other, love each other, care for each other, they smile. Even at one, he's like, oh, right? It's security.
Yeah.
It's security, and it's security for yourself if you decide to make and commit to something. And I challenge you in 2024, make a commitment and back it up. If that's one thing I can say to you in 2024, just make the commitment and back it up with action.
Yeah, we've decided that this year is going to be a year of simplicity for us again. The years leading up to and the year of our founders platinum ship a handful of years ago, our life was very simple. Like Mason said, we've got values in our life, but our top priorities were our marriage and our business and our jobs. You know, what brought us our income and what was going to stabilize our future. Yes, we were practicing our faith. Yes, we were taking care of our bodies, but like those were weaved into like the main quilt of like what was bringing our life together, really. So this is another year of simplicity for us. It's a year of us going emerald and setting that up. And we've had to get really real with ourselves. And I've asked myself, like, what does Emerald Alley look like? Because I don't look like what I need to look like yet to make that happen. And so I just want to challenge you guys to think on
your looks are perfect.
What do I look like internally, externally? Like, it's a skill to be willing to change.
Right.
So I just want to challenge you guys to identify what is it that you need to change to hit the goals that you have this year.
Last couple of thoughts in terms of in this topic for us. You know, I think there's a distraction that we face in this community once we get here, and a couple of them. One is others' success, others' journey. I think it's a massive distraction. And here's what I want to tell you: the problem with competing against others and what they're doing is you can win or lose without improving. Think about that. Okay. And the second thing that I think we deal with once we get around this community is imposter syndrome. I think these tie together. And I want to give you a paradox on imposter syndrome. Write this down. I think it will help. It helped me. Here's the paradox of imposter syndrome. Others believe you, right? People believe you. Others believe in you. Believe in you in this community. However, you don't believe in yourself. This is imposter syndrome. Yet you believe yourself instead of them. You get that? Yet you believe yourself instead of them. So we had to lean on the belief of others until we started to believe in ourselves. And that gave us the belief that we could continue forward. That's when we started to go.
Yeah. We could keep riffing here, JP, if you want us to.
We'll kick it back to you, JP. Thank you.
Love it, man. What a journey it has been from a student that I met in London, United Kingdom, Mason, and now talking such wonderful things, and what a beautiful business and a family you have, and talked about all in. A lot of people are in comfort and they need to go from comfort. Some of them are holiday and actually they want to get into now all in. But jokes apart, guys, my next question moving on to Joy and Vandana. I know you guys are so perfect. You don't have any distractions in life. Am I right? Okay, let's talk about some common distractions, obstacles that you guys have faced while prioritizing this business. So over to you, Joy and Vandana.
Awesome, very nice. Thank you so much for the question. And Mason and Ali, you touched upon some very powerful points, and we're going to probably just grow on that a little bit more. I think sometimes when we are successful professionally, that itself becomes a challenge for us because we see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We see that whatever we had invested our time and money and energy in is bearing the fruit. So sometimes that becomes a challenge. That's what happened to me. I was rising the corporate ladder. I felt very good. I was given the respect, the recognition, the money to go along with that. And when I saw this, I saw that there was a good future. But then prioritizing this sometimes over the self-study that I used to do became a challenge for me. So I knew that there was a conflicting priority that I was actually going through. And I had to figure out a way to understand that job was, I was, sorry to say, jackass of the boss. So I was still doing what somebody else was telling me to do. But in this venture, I knew that I could actually control my own time, money, and energy. So I had to really go back and rethink about it. And sometimes when there was a lack of clarity, prioritizing this business was difficult. And lack of clarity only meant that I had not really listened to the audios or not read books, or for that matter, not counseled with my mentors. And that is what provided me lack of clarity. And sometimes when I fell victim to that, in the initial stages of my business, I started thinking to myself, why am I not seeing the same passion in this that I'm seeing in my job? And I realized the gap was in my work ethic. So I had to go back and improve my work ethic so that I could actually prioritize this business more. It is a paradox, just like that. If you don't put in the work, you don't feel the priority of this business. And if you don't prioritize it, you don't put in the work. But you've got to make a decision at some time for sure. There's another thing that I felt, the FOMO aspect of it. Some of my colleagues were doing extra work. They were actually going and doing extra master's programs. I started thinking, maybe I'm missing out on that. Maybe I should actually go back and do something more with my corporate side as well. But then I realized there was no long-term association, so I had to learn to prioritize this. But the biggest thing that happened to me was I realized that sometimes we tend to procrastinate. Even in your job, even in your family, even in, for example, taxes. Tax season is going to come up. I can promise you this, there will be a lot of people filing their tax on the last day of the month, or the last day, literally. And that is a challenge because at that time you're stressed out. That stress is still there with you, although you're procrastinating. And that happened to me as well because I was living life. I had enough time to watch television. I had enough time to actually enjoy with friends and family. So there was a time when I had to take a step back and say, you know what? No, you cannot procrastinate. And I had to start using the Eisenhower matrix and actually define what was important to me, what was urgent to me. And once we did that, life just fell into place. Life just fell into place. There were certain things that there were no decision-making frameworks that I had put for myself. So I had to really go back and start understanding the Pomodoro aspect of doing things. I had to do things in bursts of 25 minutes. So I knew I could be extremely productive. I had to learn these techniques. It was a science. It was no longer an art. It was no longer a feeling-driven thing. And this business, I realized when I looked at people like JP and Ritu Kapoor and Rashmi and Smita, Ganesh and Rekha, Rajan Sunita, and many more leaders, I knew they had the fruit on the tree. They had figured it out. So that means I was no different. I just had to figure out a way to prioritize my life where this business took the highest priority over everything else.
Yeah.
And it was hard, right, Vandana, sometimes?
Yeah, and one of the biggest thing for us was expectations from our immediate family because we have, both our families are local in the same city. And this was a big one for us because we had to really learn to keep our emotional quotient very, very high because we learned very early on that we don't want to win all the wars or all the battles. We wanted to win the war. So we were ready to lose some. And Joy and I definitely decided, this was also very, very important, that we decided that we are the co-pilots for our family and we did not allow any passengers to backseat drive for us. And also, even if there was a conflict between both of us inside the family, inside the home, we did not allow any interference from outside. And, it was within the four walls of our home. And that was very important because we knew that we are a team. We have to work together. This is a team sport. We didn't have any space for any leakage. So we had to still build each other up and know that our strength came from each other. And we were big on that. We definitely simplified our schedule, not doing too many things, aligned with what our values are aligned with. And, we had two small kids when we started growing our business to Q12 and beyond. And, we didn't put them in too many activities. We knew what is our priority. And our kids have turned out very, very smart, very good. So we don't think that, that was anything that we missed on. And also, having a simple and mindful living, always being very careful where your time is going. And that's the key, keeping your life simple. And like Joy said, a burst of 25 minutes. I keep an alarm going on my phone every hour. So it wakes me up. Sometimes, we get, into social media or things like that. And once in a while, it happens to all of us. And so my alarm tells me that, hey, check, what are you doing? And so every hour I get an alarm. Even sometimes, mundane things or things which are mindless, we don't see, and our time leakage happens there. So these are some of the things that we definitely worked on. I had to work on that, especially after my, giving up my corporate. I was home, and all of a sudden I had so much time back. Even though I had two small kids, I still had to keep a track of where my time is going, and it has to be productive.
And one last thing, actually, if you remember, we had our family right here in Atlanta, and they actually used to really suck up our time up completely. They had birthday parties, marriage anniversaries, and we had to learn how to say no.
No, yes.
And it was so hard sometimes because we would feel emotionally attached to them.
Yeah.
But we realized we did not want our emotional attachment to actually become a crutch for us to actually not move forward in life.
Absolutely. We had to declutter. We had to block our mind from their emotional roller coaster, whatever they gave us. And we just cut ourselves out from that and did not,
And we didn't let money bother us. We had gone to conferences. Sometimes we had to fly back for 2 hours just to attend a party for them, just because we didn't want to carry that debt of emotional, pain and anguish for years together. So we would just do that just so that we could actually.
We have done that,
right?
yeah.
Right. So yeah, these are some of the big hurdles that people face actually. And most people will face it if you're passionate about building this business, but you will only get distracted or pulled away when you are chasing something. And so if you have goals, hurdles will come. If you have no goals, there's no hurdles actually. Then everything is, you're going with life. So JP, hopefully that added value to everybody here.
Yes, definitely. Life means clutter. So you've got to figure out how to declutter. Great thoughts. My next question is to our dear friends Satish and Sushma. In fact, I was trying to reach Satish, and he was saying that how Sushma was helping some emergency cases and stuff like that. So you guys are really, really busy. I know Satish and Sushma. So my next question to you is, with so much of action happening in your profession, and humming business. In fact, you shared your accomplishments in the business as well. So can you just talk about some streamlining you had to do, some personal stories as to how to bring your A game in both these areas? Over to you, Satish and Sushma.
And JP, both Satish and I have responsible jobs, and we have large businesses. We are founded members in USA, founded members in India, founded platinum business in Australia and New Zealand. And over the years, we found 2 founder diamond legs, 2 founder emerald legs, and 2 founder platinum legs across the market. We have learned to both prioritize and compartmentalize life as we juggle to our life.
So we learned to prioritize at work and what was critically important to keep our job. We figured out that if I made my boss look good, I protected my job in times of layoffs. Keep it simple. And since I did not work an hour of overtime, I learned to be efficient and not waste company time with looking up internet or phone or Facebook. And if there were 10 tasks, I would identify the top 4 that were critically important to the company, to my manager, and that made me look really good. And the next 2 tasks that did not take much time, I would do it. And the last 4 tasks, delegate it to somebody else or just let them slip as they were not important. Now, doing this, we learn about being excellent. Excellence is part of this ecosystem. We learn here with Spartans and through mentorship. Apply the same thing at work too. And yes, I did do well at work. I won the US National Award for Space Achievement called the Stellar Award, which is like the Oscar Award for the space business. For 13 consecutive years, won the Innovator of the Year Award at NASA's Johnson Space Center. So I've been busy at work, but I've been focused in those 8 hours a day that I spend at work. Okay, so learn to compartmentalize your time. When you're at work, do your job. When you're at home, do your job of being a good husband and a father and mother and whatever.
And we had to do the same prioritizing at home as well. We still have a 15-year-old kid at home, and he's in high school. The other 3 have graduated college, and 2 of them are working, which we are proud parents. We all look at them and they're good. But I decided that I'm not doing for the kids what they can do for themselves. I'll not do their homework, nor to be a helicopter parent. We watch what we are doing. We do watch what they're doing when they see us that we are focused on our business and on our job. We teach them by example because they're looking at us all the time what they are doing, and they need to be focused on their schoolwork and whatever sports they play. They get to pick just one activity. I'm just repeating, just choose to pick up one activity that we will support, either volleyball or basketball, baseball, taekwondo, piano, whatever, but not all of them. But I see some of the parents, they want to put their kids in most of the activities, which is not going to help either the kid or the parent. I've seen over and over again. They get to pick just one activity and will support that. And as you mentioned, I refuse to run crazy supporting multiple activities. I don't like it because I don't think it is helpful even for the kids. I will also minimize volunteering at school and elsewhere. Only wait for critically important for the kids to get into the college or graduate then I will.
And we had to learn to prioritize the business, and we had to learn to live by the calendar. We wrote down all the meetings that we had to support. We had to budget time for process meetings across global time zones. We had to learn to take pockets of time and make it count. And we treat our downline like our kids. We refuse to do things for them that they can do themselves. We have 8 legs in North America that we work with, active legs, 3 legs in India, 2 legs in Australia, 13 global legs. Clearly, we can't babysit people. Yet, we had to learn to drive depth to find capable people that can do what it takes. And we are proud of Chuck and Uma and their emeralds and platinums here in North America. Once Chuck and Uma figured out, took leadership and were getting results, we got out of their way and built our other legs. Same with Shirish and Radhika and their leaders like Philip and Chitra and others, or Murli and Padmaja and their downline diamonds and multiple emeralds, and Ram and Sujata and their downline emeralds. We did little else beyond all this. I used to fly airplanes. I'm a pilot, okay? And I have even learned how to fly jet planes and aerobatics and all that stuff. And I used to go to the gym. Now, I just use the gym at lunchtime in my office building. I did not try to get too many degrees of certification or yet other MBA, just as Joy mentioned. Kept life simple, budgeted at all times, never bought anything to impress other people. We have 3 business incomes from our 3 global markets, plus 2 job incomes. Out of these 5 income sources, we learned to live on just one, use one to fund vacations, lifestyle, and save the other 3, and allow those savings to compound at substantial levels over the years. Live on 0 debt, not even home loans, and all that was paid off years ago. And now we fully own multiple million-dollar homes in 3 different continents. Now, our commitment to consistency allowed us to have emotional stability and always plugging into our upline meetings. And then when we started having our own meetings, making sure that they all run across the 3 markets worldwide, doing our core run, listening, learning, applying, that's very important, reflecting whether the things that you're applying is working or not, and then contributing to the team, to the LLC audios, and in every way that we could to be our upline Jason Baintas, to be the rock in that group, and they can always rely on us at all times. And I never left my upline guessing as to what positions they are doing. Grateful to be sponsored by Sridhar and Soumya. I always want to be their wingman. And I'm being in communication and ensure that even to this day, despite building a sizable network, we would still counsel with our mentors before taking a big step that can affect our money or our time. If you're a winner, you'll find a mountain to climb and chase your dream in this Spartan ecosystem. And that's perhaps one of the most exhilarating things you can do. If you're actively building your business, there'll never be a dull moment. As there's always something you could always do to enhance your business and be a blessing to others. And every day can be a reality show as you work with candidates and partners and do meetings and discover other people. And sometimes you say, thank you, God, I'm not like that. And some people will inspire you. Back to you, JP.
My God, what a list of accomplishments. I mean, you have a list of accomplishments as well as you take away all the excuses. People say, oh, we have kids and we cannot do this business. We have 2 professionals. We are 2 professionals. We cannot do this business. You take away all the excuses. I wish this could go on. And I wish maybe there's a separate talk just about you guys, about your accomplishments and what you've been able to do. but we got to move on. So thank you so much, Satish and Sushma, for sharing that. My next question is to Eddie and Cassie. We've seen you as kids chasing your dreams and then getting married, and now mom, dad, and you've always been top-notch professionals. So my question to you is, how do you define your core values, and how have you kept your life simple and focused on these core values, and including business in that? So over to you, Eddie and Cassie.
Thanks so
Doctors, Eddie and Cassie.
Thanks so much, JP. And to be completely honest, for us, identifying our core values and priorities and figuring out how to simplify our life, it wasn't just something we heard on a talk. It was something we had to do out of necessity to keep my sanity. I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I remember entering this business and for years being the frantic business owner, running from thing to thing, not just in business, but in all my areas of life, trying to do it all, be the best at everything and falling short in every category and feeling just really spent and like I had nothing left to give at the end of the day. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. And so at some point it became a discussion in our household of what's actually important to us. What are our goals? So step number 1, identify your priorities, and you should have goals around those top priorities. Number 2 was anytime something came into our life, an opportunity, whether it was professionally, in business, our relationship, our family, is this going to get us one step closer to a goal in that area or to our priority or not? And I know some of the speakers were speaking to saying no, and we've said yes to a lot of things too that did align actually with our goals and priorities. But for me, probably the biggest turning point for me, I think in the last year or two, was not just saying, hey, does this align with my priorities, my values, but saying, do I have the mental energy and emotional capacity to take on this obligation as well? And I'll give you a few examples. We just had the holiday season, right? We have we have 2-month-old twins at home, plus a 2-year-old. Of course, we usually head up to Wisconsin to see our family. And I got a little pushback from my dad about us not coming up because he's like, well, we could come down there, but your brother, this, that, like, why don't you guys come up? People say it's easier to travel with fresh newborns because they sleep so much. And I just had to take a step back and think about the stress it would take on for me to pack for 3 young children, myself, to drive up potentially in poor weather. And I just had to step back and think, this isn't the year. And say, not this year. It's 1 year, Dad. We'll come up next year. We'd love to have you down here. If that doesn't work, we understand. We're excited to see the family next year up there. But this year, I have such limited mental and emotional capacity with a changing time in our life of going from 1 child to 3. I just had to say no. I know about 6 months ago, there was a conference coming up and Eddie was up in Madison, Wisconsin, taking care of some life things and business things. And one of his favorite artists was playing in Madison that night. And he came to me and said, hey, Cassie, what do you think? Should I go? And I said, honestly, whatever you think, my question to you is, do you feel like you'll have the capacity to give the next day at the conference? And what happened? You didn't go. And I know he was so bummed, but I was so proud of him for identifying what was more important in that moment. Was it seeing this artist that he may be able to see again? Or was it actually giving to the greater LLC community and our family to help us get one step closer to our goal?
Look, you can do anything you want in this life, you guys, but you can't do everything. You're not going to be able to host every, bachelorette party and plan every quince and every bar mitzvah. Like, you're going to have to choose. And for us, our decision algorithm was very short. Is this putting us closer to diamond or not? And Craig and Carrie were our true north in that. So I realized that I couldn't be good at everything. Craig actually invited me to, we played pickleball last summer. It was awful. I was so bad. Craig was speaking positive affirmations. You can't be good at everything, guys. I'll tell you that I'm a good husband. I'm a good dad. I'm a good doctor, and I'm excellent at this business. So you have to choose, what are you going to be good at? And if you're in a space where you're in some rough waters, guys, fix it. I'm not perfect. I'm telling you this because I'm a sinner. There was a month ago, I was doing appointments. Like, the twins were so young. They were not sleeping. I was going into appointments. I had spit up on me, bags under my eyes. My hair was unkept. I was telling my IBO before going into the appointment, like, if I say anything goofy, just hop in, there was days where literally, like, my mental capacity was capped at sitting on the toilet and staring at the wall. So you have to just say, hey, you know what? As an entrepreneur, we got to figure something out here. We're going to fix it. Cassie and I hired a night nurse. Have you ever heard of a night nurse before? This is somebody that comes over to your home in the evening to watch the kids at night so you can sleep. And baby, I'm back in the game.
We did that so we could grow our business, not just because we wanted to sit there and scroll Instagram late at night in the hours when she was here, so we could run appointments.
I mean, I have seven process appointments tomorrow. It's going to be a big day. That's from momentum going in prior to this conference. I'm telling you guys, it's time to rock. And we've been so focused. We will have 300 people down 12 legs to the Breakthrough Weekend 2024. And we're fired up. So with that, we'll hand it back to JP. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, that is fantastic. That's a true example of no sacrifice, no success. But moving on quickly to Mitesh and Sonali. In fact, recently, I think last week, I heard one of your talks on the LLC app, and it was phenomenal. So quickly, Mitesh and Sonali, can you just share an example of a decision you made in life to simplify, declutter, and what impact that has made to your overall efficiency and focus in the business? So what do you guys, Mitesh and Sonali?
Thank you, JP. It's really hard to follow all of these incredible speakers because everybody really just said everything. It was outstanding. But to be honest with you guys, let me give a little bit of context for the new person, right? You might be thinking, man, I've got to cut this out and say no to this and not do that and whatever. I want you to understand something. We're talking about financial freedom. We're talking about creating generational wealth and for you to walk out of your job for the rest of your life. That's kind of a big deal. So when you look at what people are doing to slow down, to be able to then speed up, don't be taken aback by that. You should be fired up. You should be I'm ready to go all in. This is amazing. Now, people do this already, right? In sports, people do this even for their jobs. I had a buddy of mine and he's like, hey, I had a job offer in, we live in Atlanta. He goes, I had a job offer in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm moving out there to take this job. And if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, that is awesome. But I have no idea what the heck is in Omaha, Nebraska. For him to leave Atlanta and go there. And I thought about it and I said, wow, for a job, people can pack up all of their stuff, pack up their kids, sell their house, and move across the country just to work for the man. Mm. But if you can't do the exact same thing in your own enterprise, hello. Think about it, right? So Sonali and I said, we're ready to go all in. If we can do these things for a job, if we can do these things in other arenas, why can't we do this here? And it's going to impact our generations to come. People look at us and say, hey, you guys are free. You don't have jobs and you got this house and whatever, right? We're expecting our first baby. Sonali's 6 months pregnant. Guess what? Full-time parents, baby. Full-time. Why is that? Well, it's because we decided to grind in our 20s. And we said no to some things, right? And we said yes to some things like Cassie said, but we said no to some things so that in our 30s, we could say yes to a whole lot of other things that we wanted to enjoy. So I think last year you went to 5 different countries.
For the last 2 years, so 10 total, yeah.
10 total, and 22, you went to 5 more. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyways, I just want you guys to have a little bit of context, not you guys on this panel, but you guys that are listening, right? Everybody that's on this panel, we're all thinking about 2 generations after us and beyond that. So maybe I can kick it over to Sonali. You can share a little bit about what we do.
Everyone talked about priority and distractions and so many things. I'm everybody took everything out of our mouths. What do we say? So I just want to share a little bit about us. So I had a phenomenal career. A lot of you guys, I'm sure you guys had an incredible career, paid a ton of money. But for Mitesh and I, my career was a big distraction. And it was a big distraction because of the income and the way they were bribing me. They gave me $300 in gym membership. They gave me $300. And you're probably thinking which company is this? Let me go apply to it. No, that's not the point. The point is, I'm sharing this because we gave that up to build this business. Ganesh always says he would rather make $50,000 from his own business than $100,000+ from someone else's business. Oh. And that was our mindset. I made $250,000 a year. And the crazy thing is I had free clothes, free membership, free food. Hot food in the cafeteria that were all free. healthy snacks. I mean, you name it. And we gave that up so that we could build this business and prioritize our life and really understand what was important to us. So we decided to give that up so we could build our business. And today we're full-time husband and wives. And we're so grateful for that. And we bought a home just to serve our teams. Like, someone said it, but our team is our kids and we love them so much. And we know that we will give them everything to help them succeed, because if they succeed, we succeed. So we gave up a lot. Like Mitesh said, back in the day, we didn't go on trips. We didn't go on a whole lot of trips. We did small trips here and there. His parents would say, hey, come to this trip with us. We'll pay for it. They spent $200,000 last year just on vacation. And so, yes, that's inspiring. We can't wait to do that. But we did not let that distract us.
Talking about like really nice trips that they would have paid for us to go on, like Bali and Bora Bora,
Switzerland,
Tahiti, and we're over here like, how diamonds are declining trips from countries. That's how we felt, except we're not diamonds yet. We're just like, we're not going to that, because we wanted to act our wage. Like we wanted to get to a point where we were like, okay, the business is pumping. Now we've earned some of these things. I mean,
yeah, no, baby, that was amazing. And it's crazy because we just didn't do a bunch of trips, and we decided to take our baby moon and we went to Europe, and we went to 3 countries, and we did everything first class. We have private drivers, private everything. And it's all because of this business. It came from our business account. So like we gave up a ton in our 20s, but in our 30s, guys, we're going to live large. But it's only because we went pro in our own business. It's only because we didn't fool ourselves. A lot of us were fooling ourselves that we're building this business and we're walking the malls, we're walking Targets, we're walking all these things. But are you intentional about building your business? Ganesh said it the other night. He said, if you're intentionally building this business, you will get results. And I love what Eddie and Cassie said, but they're saying they're growing, and we feel the same way. When you're in flow state, you're in flow state. When you're in the grind, success is coming because you're putting in the right seeds, you're giving the right heart, you're putting the right words. And it's just amazing to know that there's some people that are fooling themselves that they're building the business, and some people know that they're dedicated and they're devoted to build the business. So
we love studying people who are successful, right? You watch Pursuit of Happiness and you see, wow, look at what that looks like. Or you watch Michael Phelps win 8 gold medals, or you see Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality. But when it applies to your life, sometimes we like to just eat the popcorn and watch somebody else's highlight reel. And I want you to get into a position where you are the one that's performing. It's you that's going pro. So anyways, thanks, JP. We're going to kick it back over to you.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. We are out of time. I hope the partners who are watching are taking notes, because these are some nuggets they can right away put to use and grow, guys. So this is the year to grow. With that, back to our amazing hosts, Raj and Dipti.